Hey guys, this is Battymate here again. Today I am benchmarking both the 3080 and the 2080 against each other in Control. So I am going to do the first benchmark on the left side with the 2080. The left side is the 2080. We're going to start it off on low settings on everything, right? The 3080 is currently running at high settings on everything at the moment. And I thought this would be interesting to see because, as you can see, we're giving the 2080 as much advantage as we can here to try and match the 3080's performance. As you can see, the 2080 is getting just under 60 FPS on low settings at 1080p, while the 3080 is basically over double that. And like I do play around with the 3080 settings around here, and I'll change the 3080 to have DLSS turned on in a second. You'll see that whenever I find it. I was a bit slow finding it, so yep, I turned it on there, and watch the 3080. So the 3080 is at 150 FPS, and I will be changing the 2080 to DLSS on lower settings. And with the 2080, we're going to go from low, medium, and high settings all in this one video here. And this will be side by side. As you can see, the 2080 is in a smaller room at the moment, also while getting a third of the frame rate. Okay, so I'm going to cut to the bigger room where we are with 3080 in a second. DLSS, I just turned DLSS on the 2080. The 2080 is now up to 80, 90 FPS, 80 and 90. So, it's on lower settings, and we're still not hitting anywhere near what we hit with the 3080, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. So the 3080 is basically double the performance of a 2080. So as you can see, we're moving up to 1440. Actually, we're going to go to 4K on the 3080. We're going to 4K on the 3080. We're rendering at 4K. Resolution staying at 1080p. And at 4K, we're sitting at around 40, just under 40 FPS, 30 to 40 FPS, right, on the 3080. While at 1080p, with DLSS turned on at low settings, we're getting around 80 FPS with the 2080. So there's a pretty big difference in performance there. We are running the 5800X 3D. I was playing around the settings on the 3080. So now we're going to move the 2080 up to medium settings, and everything, all the ray tracing effects are still going to stay on. Motion blur comes off as always, and DLSS we have turned off. Now it's on medium settings. As you can see on the 2080, it's down to 47 FPS. It's starting to get a little bit laggy on the left side. And on the right side, I was playing around with settings there. Can't see half the screen, and I was changing it back. So we're only looking at the 2080 at the moment. So this is a really strange benchmark, I know, guys, but just bear with us. We are getting through it. Eventually, the 2080 will be on high settings, just like the 3080, at 1080p with DLSS turned on. But at the moment, we are on medium settings with DLSS turned off on the 2080. We are going to turn on DLSS now on the 2080 on medium settings, and we have gained about 20 or so FPS on the 2080. So we've gone from 40 FPS to 60. Meanwhile, we are running 2K, native 2K basically, on the 3080, and we are getting the same performance basically as the 2080 is at 1080p. So there you go. And now I've just changed it back to 1080p on the 3080. And the 3080 is running on higher settings still. I never changed the settings on the 3080. So now we're going to go to higher preset on the 2080 as well, with a DLSS turned off. So here we go. we are now sitting at 35 FPS, 30 to 35 FPS, which is really low, while the 3080 is basically triple the frame rate of the 2080 right now, which is crazy to think about with one generation increase. I didn't think we would see such a big performance difference between these two graphics cards, but obviously we do, and it's pretty crazy to see. Okay, so now I am turning on DLSS again with the 3080. Everything's still set to high, and look at our frame rate go up. We're sitting on 150 FPS, while the 2080 is on high, native resolution 1080p, getting 31 FPS. So now on the 3080, I'm going to lower it down to the worst DLSS option that I can choose, and we are sitting on 200 plus FPS. Look at that. You have a high refresh monitor at 1080p, you can do control basically at high refresh rates. Would I recommend going to the lowest DLSS setting? No, but on the 3080, the lowest DLSS setting doesn't look too bad in the distance, which is really surprising because when I tried it on the 2080, it looked terrible. Okay, now on the 2080, we're going to turn on DLSS on high settings on 1080p. So DLSS will be on quality mode. Basically what quality mode is recommended, like we have doubled the frame rate on the 2080 Super. We are now sitting at around 80 FPS, 70 to 80, or even 65. We're dipping into 65, but around 80, 70, so 65 to 80 FPS. While the 3080, I was just playing around, mucking around in the game with 3080. So we are sitting at 55 or 50 FPS in an action scene on the 2080, where as you saw on the 3080, the action scenes are much smoother, much more consistent frame rate. Okay, now here we go. We're changing the 3080 to 1980 by 540 resolution now, and you see the frame rate dropped a little bit. It does look a little bit clearer off in the distance, I will say that, but you guys probably can't see it in this video because I have cut that one basically off the screen so you can see the FPS counters. Okay guys, so that was the end of the 2080 run, and I'm just going to keep carrying on with the 3080 here for a little bit longer. If you guys want to watch that, you can. If you like this video, give us a good old thumbs up, and if you didn't like this video, give us a thumbs down. If you want to see more like this, press subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. That blurry mess. I don't know what's going on. Got some floating rocks. Die! Catch a rock, you bastard. That's right. Oh. Get the disabled guy in the chair. Throw stuff at us. Throw a bloody fridge at him. Now I got him. I picked him up. Throw him at the wall. I literally play like this. This did not look this good with a move it up one more. Yeah, this didn't look as good with the 2080 now. I can barely tell that, like, there's a change in the resolution. I can tell, like, out the distance a little bit, but it's not. It's like not dramatic. So looking out into the distances now is I'm not even gonna try lower settings on this because I actually might. see what sort of FPS we can get. We'll go to no DLSS though. We'll go no DLSS and we'll just go low. No DLSS on low, sitting at about 130, but when we're on high, we sit at around 100 anyway, so, you know, it's not a big difference there. Going from low. Why is he high? I'm going from high to low. Oh, that's probably because I jumped off the top. Did I just kill him? Oh, I killed him when he was invisible. Nice. Dodge efficiency. Let's destroy some of these houses here. So this is low. We'll go back up to high. We'll just go straight back onto high. I don't think there's much of a difference. Yeah, 10 FPS. Hey guys, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.